Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to do some work on the fenders. During the week I did some welding on the CJ to practice using our new welder. It's actually working really well. The only hiccup that we've had with it so far is I wanted to start using gas when I MIG weld, but when I made the connection to the tank from the welding unit, I ran into a little issue. Can anybody see the problem with this? I actually put this nut here on backwards on this hose. So the manufacturer is going to send me out a new one. But I gotta say, this welder actually works really well. The welds are much cleaner, a lot less splatter, even with using the flux core. So I'm very happy with this so far. Instead of showing more welding and fabricating on the tub, I decided to start working on the fender. And I actually have a assistant in the shop today. Hey, Trace. And she wants to see the process of actually doing some patch panels. So we're going to get started on that. This is the worst of the two fenders. This one's in really bad shape. We have a rusted out spot here and a real rusted out spot here. This part about halfway up starts not getting too bad, but I think we're going to replace the whole top just so it's nice and even. And on the back side of it, the support structure is actually rotted too. So we're going to make some of those and we'll put this back together. We also have to bang out a couple of dents that are in it. But the other fender actually isn't in bad shape at all. It has some surface rust here, but it's actually in really good shape. Although this also has a hole here and there, and it needs the new structure underneath too. So you know what? Let's get to it. It's gonna be the top and probably the worst part of it. So what we're gonna do is actually cut along this edge, right along here, probably right up to this seam, right across, and we'll take out right to the rim. Because actually on this part right here, it actually gets really solid. It's just on the very top. So we'll work on that first. So what we're going to do is use this as a template. I'm going to lay this on the sheet of steel, roughly trace it out, and then I'm going to add a little bit to it because I'm going to underlay it on the back side of this fender I'm gonna have it lie right on this inner rim.
That's fancy. You don't have to clamp that on, it just rests there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Really?
Yep.
Is that because of which welding you're doing?
No, it's as long as that makes contact. Usually the clamp is just used to help keep it in place. But you can, as long as it contacts the metal, you get. tacked into place. Now I'm going to start working on this side here. I'm going to actually cut this out and put a overlay on the back side of this because I'm going to kind of incorporate that overlay into the structural part of it so it really won't be seen. So I'll get to work now cutting this out. I'll work it down here, across here, and down here. I want to still keep this in touch here. So let's see how that works out. Out and all cleaned up, ready to be welded once I cut the piece that fits in there. So I'm gonna actually tuck this piece up under here and make it so I can weld on this edge and along here, and then I'm gonna actually flip this over and weld it on the other side too. So it'll be welded on this side and then overlaid on this side. And then the structural part of this, I'm going to make it so it overlaps onto here. So everything's kind of tied together. We'll see how that works. So the next step, I'm gonna recreate this Fender support. This is actually the other Fender. I have a repair I have to make here, which I'm not gonna do during this video, but I'll just show you the recreation I'm gonna make of this support. I'm not gonna make it with this bend. I'm actually gonna section it. So I'm gonna have 3 sections. I'm gonna have this section here, a diagonal piece, and then a bottom piece. So I actually have those already cut up and fitted. I made the first piece here, and I made an angle piece here. I actually kept it away from there because I wanted to allow flex in this if I have to adjust this. And also then I made the top piece, which I cut this apart here, so I'd have more surface area to weld to this part here. Then I finally made the bottom piece. So now I'm going to clamp these on and get these welded up. Pretty well. Have that all welded up. I'm actually going to clean up all those welds. But now let's work on straightening out this dent. This has a good dent on the side here, and actually it pushed out on this side here. So first I want to start with this bend here. I tried getting this bend out, because this is actually collapsed right here. I tried using these platypuses, and the steel is so hard to bend. This is actually really good steel here. I wasn't able to straighten that out. Then I wanted to try a little bit more leverage, so I used these. I used this big pair of chain locks, and it started to bend, but not really that easily. So what I'm going to try doing is heating up right along this bend and see if that makes it so it frees up. Well, that worked out pretty well. For the most part, this is pretty much how I wanted to get it. This is welded up. I did an initial grinding down just to get it somewhat smooth. I was able to fill in this area here. I'm gonna still have to do a little more hammering on this edge here, or on this side here, to take this dent out, smooth this out. But I'm gonna wait and do that all at once with the other. There's some areas that I have to do on the Jeep tub itself, along with finishing a lot of the tack welds in the different areas. This worked really well. This reinforcement worked out good. Along with every other part on the Jeep, there's a ton of little rust holes like this. I'm not going to video the repair on all of those little parts. I have to replace this here, repair this rust hole. There's quite a few of those, and I'm going to actually take this week and actually replace and repair a lot of those. But I'm not going to video the rest of those repairs because I feel like it's a little boring. But what I am going to do is next week we are going to work on fixing this tailgate and actually building some structure to support this tailgate. I'm going to actually use this piece of steel that I have right here and reinforce the back of this, and then I'd like to recreate the bottom edge of this tailgate with some pipe, and the inside of it also. So that's going to be it for this week, and I will see you next week, and we will start on that. And hopefully by the end of next weekend, we will be able to take this out of the garage, and we're going to actually bring the chassis back in and start doing some motor work. We're going to start doing, get it so it can run really good, and start working on the brakes and get those in good shape and run the brake lines and work towards that. But you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week. I'll tell you, the initial review on this welder is it really works really well. I'm using actually the flux core because of the issue that I had with the hose. And I gotta even say, I talked to the technical support with this company, and very helpful, very friendly. This isn't an ad for them. They're not giving me anything to do this, but I just gotta tell you, if you're looking for a welder, so far, I'm really liking it, and I would recommend it to you. But it's still early too. I haven't used it for that long, and hopefully it keeps up and keeps working well. I'm really curious how it is to use the gas with it. I hear that's a lot better, so it remains to be seen, but I'm sure it's going to be really well. All right, see you guys.